While I was standing at my friend's birthday, suddenly his mother came down the stairs, pointed at me, and said loudly in front of everyone, "This is the animal that kissed me." When I was in college, my friend Ahmed was the closest to me, and we lived together in a rented place near the university. He never made me feel inferior, even though he always noticed that I wasn't financially comfortable.
And that's because my father was a humble man, working 3 jobs to afford my education. So many months I couldn't pay my share of the rent. But Ahmed would pay my half. And he never once asked me to pay him back, so I was very grateful to him. But the strange thing is that I never saw his house or met his family, so I didn't know anything about him until the day he invited me to his birthday. When I went to the address he gave me, I found myself in front of a huge villa with very expensive cars inside. At that moment, I discovered that Ahmed's father owned a big company. Then I entered the villa feeling like I was in another world. The party started and it was full of laughter, music, and classy people. But when Ahmed came to blow out the candle, suddenly his mother came down the stairs, and as soon as she saw me, she said loudly in front of everyone, "Yes, that's the animal that bit me." At that moment, faces turned, and Ahmed looked at me not understanding anything, and his father's face turned red, but I was standing there unable to comprehend anything. I tried to speak and explain that I had never seen this woman before in my life, but no one believed me. Ahmed and his father started hitting me in front of all the guests, and then they threw me out of the villa like a garbage bag. The next day, when I returned to the residence, I found the locks changed, and Ahmed told me from behind the door to leave, saying he didn't want to see my face again. At that time, I found myself alone without a place to stay, without money, and even without a friend, so I decided to work in a restaurant for 12 hours to support myself and rent a room. The lectures, studying, and work together were too much. I was barely sleeping 2 hours with difficulty, and my body was collapsing. Until one day, while I was serving tables, I saw something that made my blood freeze. Ahmed's mother, who accused me of kissing her, was holding the hand of a strange man who wasn't her husband, and they were laughing, touching, and speaking inappropriately. I immediately hid and recorded everything. The next day, I went to Ahmed's villa and knocked on the door. At first, they refused to let me in. But when I told them that I had something that would change their lives, they immediately let me in, and when I played the video for them, Ahmed and his father froze and were shocked. It turned out that on the day of the birthday, the father smelled men's perfume on his wife because she was cheating on him. But when he confronted her, she hid the truth and said that I forced myself on her while we were standing there shocked and talking. Suddenly, the mother came in, and when she saw me, she sarcastically said, "What's this fool doing here?" The father took the phone and showed her the video, and of course, she went silent and couldn't say a word. That same night, Ahmed's father kicked her out of the house and froze all her bank accounts. In the end, she neither had money nor a place to stay. As for me, the father apologized for hitting me unjustly and offered me a job in an administrative position in his company with a salary I never dreamed of. I accepted, and the first thing I did with the money was to let my father retire and stop working hard. Ahmed became my friend again, and even today, when he sits with me, he keeps thanking me, saying if I hadn't been brave, he would never have known the truth.